and welcome to CX Today. I'm Rhys Fisher, Deputy Editor, and today I'm going to be discussing the importance of audio quality in the contact centre. And joining me for this chat is Thor Mitskog, the CEO of Cyber Acoustics. Thor, thank you for joining me. How are you doing?
Oh, good. Good to see you again, Rhys.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like a beautiful day wherever you're placed there. It looks a lot better than where I am in South Wales. Anyway, put it that way.
I'm in our wonderful capital of Texas today. So,
Looks idyllic. Um, So I suppose I wanted to jump in maybe first of all with perhaps talking about the fact a lot of blame gets placed on agents for perhaps not being understood in the contact center when complaints are raised in that regard. Do you think that's fair? And if not, what do you think perhaps some of the real root causes are?
yeah, it is actually absolutely true that blame gets pointed to agents by clients because they can't hear them or can't understand them. And honestly, it's not really the agent's fault because whether they're working in a remote setting like I am today, or they're in an office, they're at the mercy of the tools provided to them by their employer. And when the employer gives them tools that lack certain qualities and features, uh, maybe specifically to eliminate background noise, guess who takes the blame? The agent does. And we can't understand you. And it's not because they don't necessarily speak the language clear. It's because they can't be heard clearly by the end customer that they're chatting with. And so the overall importance of providing good tools is critical in the call center space. It always has been, and now that things are more and more available to the BPOs, um, it's up to them to take advantage of these tools and deploy them.
Yeah, I think it's a really important sort of distinction you're making there, really. Like you said, so often in customer service that the frontline staff do take the brunt of that customer frustration. But
I
as
mean,
you said,
you can see me right now, Reese, that I'm an outdoor setting, um, and I got cars going by, and there's not like a glass window behind me. There's a street, all kinds of traffic. There's people around me, and I'm using one of our AI headsets, and I hope you don't hear anything in the background, but that's what it is. I can hear it through my ear cup because it's around me, but that's why it's important to eliminate those things so you just hear the person you're talking to and not all these extra surrounding components.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think that's yeah, a perfect example of what we were talking about there. I was wondering if maybe you could also talk us through how poor audio. We talked about how it affects perhaps the agent, but also on how it affects CX. But when it comes to trust and perhaps customer confidence as well, perhaps the other side of things.
I'll give you a recent example. So I kind of look after my aging mother, and I had to schedule a procedure for her, and it was an automated system through the local medical company, and they have they farm out their scheduling group to an entity, oh, in Asia, and so I could tell right away it was a Filipino person talking, and very good English, but very hard to hear. And so, when you have a poor quality experience, it was very difficult for me to hear. Now, I've listened to all types of language and communication over the years. I can kind of decipher, but for the average person that has to clearly understand that, I think frustration occurs. And so it's important that if you don't provide the clear communication, you're going to have customers get aggravated and they're going to be upset with that, at least that first layer of response. And it all comes back to the basic fundamental tools in addressing the basic fundamental problems of of making a clear communication. You can put all the advanced softwares in the world with the best soft phones and all the answers. If they can't hear the person giving them the answer, the frustration is just going to amplify.
Yeah, so you mentioned software there, and obviously you've also spoken about and showed us the hardware that you're using now. I was wondering if you could maybe talk a little bit about the role of hardware in the contact center with headsets, particularly perhaps when it comes to sort of helping with security, compliance, and even just sort of more emotionally intelligent conversations, I guess.
Yeah, there's obviously headsets have been the basic tool since the 70s, right? For communication, tied up with a maybe originally it was a Ma Bell handset phone system, and they had some type of customer support. Um, and so there's this, I guess I call it this hangover effect and this perception that headsets that have been around and handsets that have been around since the 80s, all it is just a piece of hardware that connects to the microphone and to the either the standalone hard phone or to the computer, and there is no value in it. And that's not the case at all. And I think a lot of senior executives in either the founders and CEOs that started their companies back in many years ago, 30, 40 years ago, they used to be an agent themselves, and they've had this perception from the BPO side that, oh, headset's a headset or handset's a handset, and there is no differentiation. But then when they look at software and they look at AI tools, oh, that's all innovation. And they're completely 100% wrong. And for those companies that we have touched so far, uh, we've opened their eyes and surprised the hell out of them on what these tools can do today. So the importance of hardware, it follows step by step with the software. And if you don't have good hardware tools, guess what? The software tools don't work well. And I say that, I'll give you an example, like some of these new AI softwares that are promoting, you know, cleaning up the communication from a particular agent, whether it's their accent or background noise, etc. If you don't feed that hardware or that software, a lot of them are cloud softwares, a clean signal, whether it be a voice signal, guess what? The result that spits out of their engine is very poor. So hardware is very, very important, and we can still keep costs down. I mean, it's not we're not adding additional layers. We're just advancing hardware at the same pace as what the software is, and so that's why I continue to preach to all the team members. And once we do our demos with our clients, they open their eyes. We have one very large medical company that recently standardized on our products because of the technology that we've put forth, not just on noise cancellation, but some of the other innovations to really complement it. So hardware is very critical.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's really interesting actually. I think, and you sort of did an overview of it there, but this idea that software and things like that are almost seen as more impressive in today's society versus something a little bit, like you said, a little bit more traditional hardware like a headset.
Yep.
But as we can see from your example and the examples we talked about, there still very much is a place for the headset in the contact center space.
Yep. We're not replaced by robots yet, and maybe at the tail end of my life, I'll see a good portion of that. But right now, I think the tools that have come in have made agents better. I think they've reduced frustrations, been able to answer questions. But it's again comes back to you may be able to have the answer in front of that agent on their computer, but better be able to clearly communicate it to them and being able to be heard without any frustration points. So yes.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's a great way to end things there. Thanks, Thor. This has been really not just the chat, which has been really insightful, but also it's been great to see the technology, in action. Nothing's come
Yep.
through at all on my end. It's come through perfect audio, which is exactly, the what you've been preaching here. So yeah, thank you very much.
Yep. Well, good. Good. All right, Rhys. Well, I appreciate it. And I guess we'll look for this one to get posted, and we'll keep the dialogues going.
Absolutely. I would also just like to quickly thank our viewers today for tuning in. If you did enjoy this, please remember to like and subscribe. And remember, you can go over to cxtoday.com to check out more stories like this. Until next time, thank you for watching.